Hello everyone, this is Ratikan. Welcome to my YouTube channel LinuxG. Today topic is introduction to Docker. Before starting the video, don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel LinuxG. Let's first understand in past how your applications are deploying. So the traditional application deployment is having isolation issue. No way to define resource boundaries for applications in a physical server, and this caused resource allocation issue. Also scaling issues because it was expensive for organization to maintain many physical servers. Next, we got virtualization, which allow you to run multiple VMs on a single physical server. Each VM includes a full copy of an operating system, the application, necessary binaries and libraries, taking up tens of GBs. Then we got container. A container is an abstraction at the OS layer that packages code and dependencies together as a standardized unit of software. Containers take up less time than VMs, also boots quickly, and also we have very well isolation. So Kubernetes and Docker works together to build and run containerized applications. Understand first monolithic architecture. Monolithic software is defined to be self-contained. Components of the program are interconnected and independent rather than loosely coupled as is the case with modular software programs, where we have different dependencies, requirement for each service, long setup time, different dev, test, prod environments. And here we have some pros and cons. Pros are it's simple to develop, simple to deploy, also easy debugging and error tracing, also simple to test and takes less cost. Cons are difficult to understand and modify, it's tightly coupled, higher startup and load times, redeploy the entire application on each update, and also continuous deployment is very difficult, less reliable. A single bug can bring down to the entire application. Also scaling the application is very difficult to adopt a new and advanced technology since changes in firmware or languages will affect an entire application. Changes are one section of the code can cause an unanticipated impact on the rest of the code. Now let's understand the microservice architecture, where it consists of a collection of small autonomous services. So each service is self-contained and should implement a single business compatibility within a boundary context. So let's dip down to the hypervisor. A hypervisor is nothing but a software that creates and runs your virtual machines, as known as also guest machines. It isolates the hypervisor operating system and resources from the virtual machines and enables the creation and management of those VMs. The hypervisor treats host resources like CPU, memory, and storage as a pool that can be easier relocated between existing guests or to new virtual machines. Generally, there are two types of hypervisors. One is called bare metal, which runs directly on the host hardware, like example Hyper-V or VMware ESXi hypervisor. And type 2 is known as hosted, which runs as a software layer on the operating system, example VirtualBox and VMware Player. Here In microservice, we have some pros and cons. Let's discuss. Pros are is decoupled, also ensures continuous delivery and deployment of large complex applications. It's better testing since services are smaller and faster to test. Better deployment, each service can be deployed independently, and no long-term commitment to technology. When developing a new service, you can start with a new technology stack. Cons are slow boot up times of VMs, increased memory consumptions, large OS footprint. Also, initial costs are very high, and this type of architecture demands for proficiency in the skills of the developers. Testing this difficult and time consuming because there is an additional complexity involved because of the distributed system. Deployment complexity, there is added optional complexity of deploying and managing a system that contains various service types. Now let's see how exactly the code is working before Docker. So a developer sends a code to a tester, but it does not run on the tester system due to various dependencies issues. However, it works fine on the developer's end. And now, after Docker, what exactly the scenario? Here, as the tester and developer now have the same system running on the Docker container. They both are able to run the application in the Docker environment without having to face the difficulties in dependencies issues as before. So let's deep down to Docker. Docker is a software development tool and a virtualization technology that makes it easier to develop, deploy, and manage application by using containers. Now let's understand what is container. Containers refers to a lightweight, standalone, executable package of a piece of software that contains all the libraries, configuration files, dependencies, and other necessary parts of the operate the application. Example, Ubuntu Python dependencies, which makes a container. The difference between virtualization and containerization was in your screen. So in VM, hardware level process isolation was there, but in container, OS level process isolation was available. In VM, each VM has a separate OS, and in container, each container can share OS. VMs boots in a minute, but containers boots in a second. VMs are of a few GBs, whereas containers are very lightweight, having KBs or MBs. Ready-made VMs are difficult to find, but pre-built Docker containers are easily available. VMs can move to new host easily. Containers are destroyed and recreated rather than moving. Creating VM take a relatively long time. Containers can be created in a second. VMs using more resource, whereas containers are using very less. Now let's see about the Docker architecture. Docker uses a client-server architecture basically. Docker client talks to the Docker daemon, which does the heavy lifting of building, running, and distributing your Docker containers. Docker client and daemon can run on the same system, or you can connect a Docker client to a remote Docker daemon also. For a virtual communication between CLI client and Docker daemon, a REST API is always used. So thank you for watching my video. If you need more container videos, comment me, and don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel Linux G.